Hey y'all, hey, what's up? And welcome to today's Daily Rant with yours truly, Miss Donna. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about how important it is to heal from heartbreak. This is going to be geared more towards women, obviously, but I mean, men, you can take this advice also. I encounter so many women, and these are mature women, because I myself, I'm 41, so these are women that are mature, right? And they have experienced heartbreak, probably on more than one occasion. And the problem is when they experience the heartbreak, a lot of them never really heal from it. And so what I see that they do, they just push it to the back of their mind and, move forward, whether this is in a new relationship or even sometimes they move on with their life and they get married and they still harboring the bitterness and resentment. Let's unpack this, y'all, and let's talk about it. You have got to learn that disappointments in relationships are only lessons that God is giving to you so that you can learn from them, right? It is not for you to walk around and harbor resentment and be unforgiving and walk around with trust issues, right? I got my grandma, right? She 90 years old. And when we all sit down, I mean, ever since I was probably like maybe 9 or 10, she would always talk about how, it's horrible for a woman to have children. A man would leave you, and, it's your responsibility at the end. And I mean, she frightened me so bad that at one point I was like, look, I don't want no kids because I don't want to be left out for garbage. Like, she literally made me feel like that a man would just leave you out like trash. And so at that time, as a young girl, I really couldn't understand it. I was like, why is she like, she really had like a really, really, really issue when it came to like men. My grandmother was married and unmarried. How many times was she married? I believe she was married twice. And in her first marriage, she really went through a bad breakup, a really bad heartbreak. And so she carried that on. And even when she was married with my grandfather, they had issues, but he was a loving man and, she loved him dearly. So if you love somebody, you acclimate and you compromise. So she did do that for my grandfather. But when he made his transition, when I tell you, Gramps, baby, Gramps will tell you fast. She does not trust men. She does not allow a man to lead her. And it's all because of everything that she's experienced. Now imagine Gramps is 90. So she got some wisdom now. And I'm not going to say that what she taught me and my younger cousins was not good, because she probably was just trying to protect us. But she really did distort how we looked at heartbreak and how we would operate when those situations presented themselves with us. Like, I have a cousin that it's hard for her to work through heartbreaks and breakups, and she just gets meaner and meaner and meaner. And so as I gotten older, as I've grown into the woman that I am today, I realized that holding on to any disappointment from a past relationship is only going to keep you in bondage. You wonder why a lot of women, you see that they have a very bad taste in their mouth, and they're mature women, right? They have a bad taste in their mouth towards marriages, towards relationships. They have that negative mindset. And a lot of that is because they are still harboring that bitterness and that resentment. And the disappointment. Don't nobody like the breakups. I will never forget, I was in 7th grade and I had a boyfriend. His name was Willie Allison. And Willie called and broke up with me and left it on my voicemail. I was so distraught about that, right? And I remember at that point I was crying. I couldn't understand why. And I was like, I'm like, I was just so broken up about it. Fast forward. Now, I am happily married. I have 4 children. My husband is a sweetie. And I just look at it like, wow, if I would have held on to the breakups and the disappointments in the relationships and guys that I dealt with prior to my husband when I was in my younger years that didn't really value me and just mishandled me, right? I would walk around harboring resentment and all of these trust issues and all of this other great stuff that just holds you back and not learning forgiveness. Oh, we gotta, as women, learn how to forgive men even when they hurt you and move on, right? Take accountability for the part you played in whatever the situation was and move on. There is no need to walk around for years harboring resentment or trust issues and being unforgiving because of something that someone else did, right? We only have control of our actions. We have no control over anyone else's actions. And so what we have to learn is that people do what they know, right? And you can't do anything about that. A person has to be willing to learn and willing to change. So once you get that in your mind, then all of the bitterness and the resentment that a lot of women harbor, and men too, it ain't just women, but I'm talking about women today. Maybe I'll do a rant on men. Y'all ain't safe. Y'all, some bitter men out here too. But right now we talking about women. And because I encounter so many women that are mature age, 50 and older, and they're giving other young women advice towards men, and they're coming from a broken space. We got to do better and start healing and start moving past these problems that we experience and look at situations when they arise as if it's a lesson. Don't let somebody else's actions block your blessings because you're allowing this person to change you. Stay who you are. Heal if you need to heal. Reflect if you need to reflect, but don't allow yourself to put a block up, right? Because contrary to what everybody says, every man is not the same. Y'all have a good weekend.